Hello, everybody. Welcome to Safety Sunday. I have a bit of a different setup today because I thought it would just be easier for you all to see the acronym I'm going to go over while I go over it. So, today I'm going to be talking about the secondary assessment, and you should perform this assessment after you have completed a primary assessment and determine that there are no life-threatening conditions. That is when you perform a secondary assessment. So if you remember from before, a primary assessment is going to be checking for breathing and checking for a pulse. So if they do have a pulse and if they are breathing, that is when you should move on to the secondary assessment. So there's a nifty little acronym that we can use for secondary assessment, and that is SAMPLE. The S stands for signs and symptoms. So when you're performing a secondary assessment, you want to pretty much observe and ask the victim all of these things that are covered in SAMPLE. So S, signs and symptoms, pretty self-explanatory. You want to observe and ask for their signs and for their symptoms. So, for example, are they bleeding? Are they gasping for air? Are they vomiting? Things like that. Every kind of situation will have different signs and symptoms, and it can really be helpful for you to know exactly what is going on by just observing the victim really well and literally just asking them what's going on, how are you feeling, things like that. The A in SAMPLE stands for allergies. So if they're swelling or really itchy or having trouble breathing, that might be a good sign that they have allergies and they might be having an allergic reaction. So ask them if they have any allergies. If they do, ask them where their EpiPen is. You should not give anybody an EpiPen that doesn't have one on their person. Or, don't give anybody an EpiPen that isn't their EpiPen. But if they have allergies, they probably do have an EpiPen, and in that case, use their own EpiPen to help alleviate their symptoms. If they're having a severe allergic reaction, call EMS. That's really important. M, medications. Ask them if they take any medications. Maybe what they're experiencing is a side effect from the medication. Maybe what medication they take is indicating what is happening to them now. For example, if they take blood thinners, that might be a sign that they have heart problems and they might be experiencing a heart attack or something. So make sure that you know what medications they take just so you can kind of get a better insight as to what they might be dealing with. P, pertinent past medical history. Ask them what their pertinent past medical history is. If they have a history of diabetes, for example, that can be really important to know because you might know that if they're feeling a bit strange, they might need some glucose. They might be having high or low blood sugar. So knowing their pertinent past medical history is really important for a whole bunch of different situations. If you know that they have a history of heart complications and they start grabbing their shoulder or their chest, you might know that they're having a heart attack. So know their pertinent past medical history. L stands for last oral intake. This is so you know when's the last time they ate or drank and when's the last time they took a medication. Again, knowing that can just give you a really good overall picture of what's happening to them. And then E, events leading up to the incident. This is also really important because something that they had done recently might have caused this issue to happen. For example, if a kid's elbow is bleeding and you saw them running or they told you that they were running, you know that they probably fell on the pool deck and scraped their elbow. Or if somebody dove into the shallow end of a pool and they get out and they are now feeling tingly in their legs or arms, or if they have some blood running out of their ear or nose, you might think and suspect that they have a head, neck, or spinal injury. So knowing the events leading up to the incident are really important. This is SAMPLE, which is the acronym describing how to perform a secondary assessment. Just know that any information you gather from here is confidential between you and the patient has the right that you don't share any of this information with anybody that should not know. So quiz, as always, is linked down below in the description, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye.